Welcome, 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 welcome inside the Bus Stop Crew Q&A. And I am ever so happy to have you join us today. Today. We are ever so happy for you to join us. And so I just want you to know that you are welcome. You are welcome. You're absolutely welcome. And we are happy to have you with us. So we're going to kick things off the right way. Yeah, there is a Eagle team. Here comes Mama Sharon. There's Madame Julie. Huh? Where's Christopher? What? Madame Julie up. Say hi, Julie. Mama Sharon, your camera is shifting. Come on. Madame Julie, you are up. Wait for the people. Woo! All right. Sir Chris, you're up next. All right, all right, all right, all right. So we are going to jump into things. So let me just give some instructions. Thank you for those who have jumped on. All right. So Chris, we just want you to kind of rotate your camera so that we can get you all good and ready to go. Guys, we're gonna jump on now. Again, thank you so much for joining us today. Yes. And I want you to know that if you're on, drop a message in the chat. Say who you are. Let me know who is on. Say hi, I'm so and so, and I'm watching from so that I can know who is on. Today is a fantastic day. We're doing something that we've never done before because you, our viewers, you are important to us, right? So we wanted to know that you are VIPs. Okay, you are VIP. And I'm allowing my the actors and actresses to get their cameras sorted and situated and straightened and prepared and ready because once we jump on, we're gonna get into the thick of things. I wanted to jump on, ladies and gents. Let me know, say I'm listening. I see three persons already jumped who have jumped on. Let me know where you're viewing from. I love to know where you're viewing from in the chat. Say I am XYZ and I'm viewing from such and such a place, right? Because you are important to us. You are important to us, right? Yes. And so before I even go any further, I want to open in prayer before we go anywhere, right? Father, we thank you for today. Thank you for this opportunity to minister to people in this fashion. I pray, Almighty God, that you will just be with us. Your presence will be with us. Hearts will be blessed today. Persons will be excited to share and communicate with us as we go through a little Q&A and a little behind the scene, a little this and that, and have some fun here with those who have been with us all this time. Thank you for your goodness and your mercies towards us. Let everything flow as it should. In Jesus' name, amen. Yes. So I'm going to now bring the folks up. So I hope they are ready for me and their cameras are not shifting everywhere, that they are ready. Hi, Chris. All right. Hi, Mama Sharon. Julia, camera not situated to right now. I want to bring you over the camera. Not turned the two correctly. And I'm waiting on Mr. Black. Because I'm not seeing your face at all. And why is Chris gone? The cameras, is it that you're being bumped off or is it that I'm not something not right? Julie, I'm not seeing your face, my love. You need to fix your camera because I'm not seeing your face. Let me hold on. Yeah, we're
Julie's
not seeing your face, Julie. The camera
room.
is the other way. The camera is the other way. Mama Sharon, go back a little bit. So, yeah, Mr. Black, can we bring you up, sir? We need to bring you up. Julia camera is rotated the wrong way. So, guys, this is the cast. These are the persons that you have been hearing. These are the persons that you have been wondering who them people are, right? So Julia says she's listening and she's watching from Portmore. All right. And she says, I'm Jody. Thank you, Jody, for watching us from Portmore. So I am waiting to bring the other cast members up. All right. Okay, Madam Julie is up. Please wave, wave, wave. When I bring you up, I must wave, just wave, wave. Yeah. So we are here and we are grateful. Now, we want to do a little Q&A. Just mute your mics in the meantime until it's your time to chitter chatter to us. We want to get behind the scenes. We want to hear some stuff. We want to hear your perspective. We want to see, what's going on. Julia, there's Julia. Also, it's Julia Brown. Oh, we know who Julia Brown is. I think we know who Julia Brown is. Yeah, we know who Julia Brown is. That is one of our what should I say? She follows us like nothing else. But we're gonna get into the conversation. So introduce yourselves, even though we see the names on the screen. Just let us know who you are and just say something nice. Say something nice. Just open the camera, say something nice, and wave.
Good evening, everyone. I am Mama Sharon, as you all know. And it is a pleasure to meet you guys and to be here and to answer your questions. And welcome to the bus stop crew.
Hey, who next? Who will go next?
No, I'm mute. You hearing me?
We're not clearly, but we are hearing you.
You're hearing me clearly?
No, I'm not. You guys hearing clearly? I don't know. I'm not hearing clearly. All right, go ahead, Chris.
It is the meantime. Good night, everyone. I'm Joel, otherwise called Chris. I'm that nice, smooth voice that you hear behind the scenes. So,
Ah,
um, it has been an amazing experience, and I'm just hopeful and excited for tonight's conversation.
woo, 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 woo. Listen to me. So am I. So am I. As I sat down thinking about what we're going to be talking about this evening, I'm like, wow, 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 wow. What is it going to be like? Will we get questions from the folks watching? So we want to start off with some of the questions, to get the thing started. We want to ask a few questions. Now, let me tell you, just be relaxed. Okay? Just be relaxed. Julie's back. So just be relaxed. Don't worry about it. It's fine. Seriously, it's fine. Julie, you want to wave no and say something?
Yes, hi guys. This is your one and only, yours truly, Julie. Welcome. Good to have you all for those who are joining us. And we look forward to having this engagement with you all. Thank you guys for
Woo!
joining.
All right. So I want to ask first and foremost, the first question I'm going to ask is to Mama Sharon. Mama Sharon, the question has to come to you first because you are one of the persons that we get so many comments. Um, somebody's asking, where is Uncle Orville? I could
Um,
answer that question for you, but I'm not able to. I want to answer, but I'm not able to. Okay? So you're asking where's Uncle Arby? Let us see what happens there, because I can answer that for you right now. But I want to ask, Mama Sharon, you were given the role Mama Sharon, right? And the question I want to ask you is, when you were given this role, you didn't even think it would go the way it is going?
definitely not. Definitely not. Mama Sharon, woo, that was a
Mm-hmm.
heavy task. I felt it was a really heavy task to be that wise old, to be that
Mm-hmm.
voice of reasoning. But I'm loving it. I'm loving it. And I'm enjoying the ride because not only does the character teaches the other persons in the bus stop crew, but I've also learned from Mama Sharon. So yes, I'm enjoying it.
That's interesting. So Mama Sharon learned from Mama Sharon.
Yes, trust me, because Mama Sharon here has to be praying.
They're saying Mama Sharon has to learn from Mama Sharon. But do you let me show a question to Julie. Julie, so you replace the other Julie, but based on your understanding of this girl, Julie, you know, how do you feel about being a character? How do you feel being Julie? What does it do to you?
I'm
What does
not
it make you
hearing the
think about?
question.
Oh, you're not really?
I'm I'm not hearing you.
Is everybody else hearing me? If you're hearing me, oh, so that means it's Julie. Fool. So it's Julie. Julie, you're the problem. It's not me. It's not me at all. All right, Chris. Let me ask you. While Julie figure out what is happening with her system. Chris, you came on the scene, and I wanted to run through I wanted to run through season one first. You know, I wanted to run through season one first. Hold on a minute, because I want to run through season one first before I actually dive into. Hold on a minute. To season two, because I mean, season one had so many things carrying. Because season one is is where everything started. I wish Orville was on, because then I would we be able to get some other things said. But season one carried so many things that even I was wondering, like, oh my gosh, this is like so much for the characters. You know what I mean? Um, Mama Sharon, being spiritual grounding, the spiritual grounding of the team. You said it helped you, but was there a time that you felt like you didn't want to be that character?
Yes, definitely yes. Um, because it is hard. It is full of pressure. Chris is a handful. Not to mention Unc, and Julie. Oh my lord! As you can see, that Julie's having problems here now with her mic. You can see what Mama Sharon was going through, and also, it's the same thing in real life. It's the same thing. So it's not all the time that you want to be the voice of reason. Sometimes you want to be
Mm-hmm.
the one that trace them. But no, you seek the Lord and you go the way that the Holy Spirit instructs you. So it was hard, it
Mm.
is hard, but that's not who Mama Sharon is. And because she trusts in God, then he gives her that strength to move past her feelings and let the Lord take over.
All right. This is platform that we're using. This is the very first time I'm actually using this platform. Let me say that, because I've always used StreamYard, and so it is now telling me that Uncle Orville can't come in. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna bring Orville up, and I'm gonna put Chris down, and then we deal with season one, and then we're gonna come back, because we need to get something sorted here. So let me bring Uncle Orville up. Uncle Orville, please jump on up. All right. I still don't see him coming up, even though I've let him in. All right, let me wait a minute. So, Orville, are you up now? Orville?
Yes, I am.
Yes, you need to come up. I'm letting you in and you're not coming in. Okay, thank you. So we need to see who Orville is. So you need to settle so we can see. All right, so that is Orville, everyone. That's Orville. That's Uncle Orville, whatever you want to call him, Uncle Orville, Brother Orville. That is Orville. And so we want to jump a little bit into season one. That's what we want to talk about a little bit, and then we bring Chris back in. I know Chris can hear me all set. Should be, right? So, Sharon, you carry the burden of everybody. You carried everybody's burden. And you said sometimes you felt like you didn't want you wish you didn't play that character, right? But when you felt that way, what did you do? When you felt like I don't want to be that character, yeah.
Well, as I was saying, the first thing that you do, your first response should always be to run to God because you cannot do this on your own. So that is
Mm,
my 911 or 119. You go to God and you say, Lord, this burden is heavy and I need you to help me through it. Help me carry this. Help me to
yeah.
be the wise owl that everyone expects, but also
Mm-hmm.
to be the wise owl for myself. So
Ah,
yeah, I have to run to God all the time.
love that. Love that. Orville, so you're known for teasing and for being sarcastic in season one, but it also shows your state of loneliness. How do you balance humor with vulnerability in the as the character? How do you maintain being funny and at the same time being open and honest that listen, I'm lonely. Like the scene when you said on a Sunday, it's worse than when you go to the supermarket and you see the younger guys, they are married and you are thinking, I'm 45 and I'm not. How do you balance that?
Okay. Good day, everyone. I think the humor, all the teasing, was more of a cover for all
Oh.
the loneliness inside. So I used that as the mask to say, all right, on the inside, I'm lonely. I'm feeling all the different emotions, seeing all these young men out there with their spouses and stuff. I'm almost lived a full life in terms of the age that I've reached and
Hmm.
by myself. So that humor, all the teasing was just out my way of hiding it. And
Uh,
yeah,
but let me ask. You and Julie had a lot of clashes. Oh boy, you and Julie had it out. Do you think that, well, you alluded to that. It was a little bit deeper because you were trying to really cover up. So, oh, hi. Hi, Etta Gordon. Hi, Sarah Panton. Yes, Orville is 45. Yes, Orville is 45. So, all right. If you could redo a conversation, one conversation with Julie on the bus, or any one of them, whether Sharon or Julie or even Patrice, what would it be? Which conversation would you want to redo? Think about those three persons: Julie, Sharon, and Patrice. Which of them would you want to redo? Huh?
I remember the conversation where I kind of went off and made them like they were crying, and I did not know how to handle that. So I kind of went off, and then it's like, no, stop it, no crying and stuff. I could have,
Oh, the one with when Sharon was crying because she thought her niece was gonna die.
yeah, I
Oh.
could have dealt with that a little better, instead of pushing aside her emotions. So like, no, I'm not into the whole crying thing. Just yeah, I could have redone that. Dealt with it with a little more grace.
So in retrospect, you think, oh my, I could have been a little more graceful. I didn't have to be so. so rough with her. All right, fair enough. So, but Mama Sharon, in season one, still looking at season one, how did you view Patrice's role in Orville's life, and what advice would you have given Patrice?
Um, it's a tough one. We can come back around to that question. We can wheel and come back to that question.
All right. While you think about the response for that, let me talk to Orville again. Orville, so you wrestled with old wounds when Christopher reconnected with Paula Ann. How did you face that without letting bitterness take over? Because when you start to talk about Paula Ann and her behavior and stuff, it kind of send you back to Patrice's situation and thing, right? Um, how you handled that without seeming bitter? Like to give Chris good advice because you gave him some advice at that point. How did you how you balance that? Why in that as a character? Why didn't you just get bitter and say that girl is a wicked girl and I want to? Because even though you expressed some displeasure, you still were able to talk to Chris.
I
You
feel
want to think about
like
that too?
it was. That's a good question. I it goes back to me redoing the conversation with Mama Sharon and that
Mm-hmm.
I could have handled it with grace. I feel like at that point Orville had kind of learned a little bit more and was able to decipher what's the best way to go about handling the situation. Now that Paula and is back in the picture,
Mm-hmm.
badmouth her to Chris and let him know that okay, not the right person, or I could just go about it with grace, as which I should have done with Mama Sharon when she was crying. So it's
Mm-hmm.
about the overall personal and character development of Orville.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. You were often the peacemaker, Sharon, even though you don't answer my last question yet. You were often the peacemaker between Orville and Julie. Did you ever feel worn out by that responsibility?
Um, to be honest, sometimes you feel tired, but not worn out. I wouldn't say worn out because I do know that they love each other. It's just that they can't find their way of communicating that love. So it's not that I feel worn out. Sometimes I'm tired. I was like, oh, come on, children. This 45-year-old man and this 23-year-old girl, and they're
Yeah.
constantly bickering. Arville is the cause of it all. But not worn out. Sometimes get a little tired, but um,
Mm.
grace. You give grace. Oh, answer the previous question in regards to insights that I would give to Patrice. Well, first of all, Patrice, ask the man if he wants to be in a relationship with you. First of all, don't assume that you're in a relationship. Okay? Not because you guys talk or probably go out at one time, but um ask. Okay? Get definitive answers. Are you in a relationship? Pray about it. And you two, both of you will have to sit down and talk to God and decide your way forward. If it is that you have not sat down and decide that you're going to be in a relationship together, you have prayed about it, you're not in a relationship. Okay, my dear? Not.
So that's the advice that you would have given. Let me ask you, Arville, this is an Arville question, yes. Patrice clearly admired you. It was obvious that she admired you. Do you think you gave her a fair chance or were you too guarded? Do you think you honestly gave Patrice a fair chance? You think you gave her a fair chance, like a fighting chance? Did you give her an opportunity to show you that, yeah, there's a possibility?
Um, no, I think I was a little too hard on her, so I don't think I gave her a fair chance for sure.
I think Orville do a lot of retrospection, you know. I think Orville has done a lot of retrospection from season one to season two, because he keeps saying that he would go back and fix, and he would.
Yeah,
Orville.
I realize
But
it's a common
Orville,
theme when it comes on to what I said earlier about showing grace in the conversation with Mama Sharon, with Paula, and I feel like that grace is that common theme that I could have shown in different situations throughout the
season
show.
one.
Yeah.
Mm. But looking at Julie's struggle with her mother, darn it. What's your perspective as someone who often protects Julie? Was that one a little bit out of your reach?
All right, that one. I feel like as much as you are Orville is close with Julie, you have to balance out. Okay, you guys are friends. She's what 23. You're 45. You have to balance out the friendship and to know where I
Mm-hmm.
can insert myself to say, all right, yes, we are friends, but I'm also older than her, where she kind of sees me as an uncle, per se. Where can I step in and give my opinion on certain stuff with how her own flesh and blood, her mother, deals with her and stuff. So just finding the balance between being just that friend and being that father figure that, you know,
Yeah.
yeah.
So Sarah Panton says, well, Etta Gordon says, good evening, team. The Lord bless you. Sarah Panton says, listening to it, no, he did not. He never give her a fair chance. That's what they say, Sarah. He never give her a fair chance. I mean, he just chop her down, so boom, 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 boom. He didn't give her a fighting chance. I wonder if anybody else can wants to say anything on that. Did he give give Paula and not Paula and Patrice a fair chance? No. I want to ask both of you a question, and I want you to give me your response before I bring Chris in. If you could sum up, hold on, no, not that. If you could give one piece of advice to your season one self, what would it be? I think I know what Orville's would have been, but what would it be if you want to give your season one self? What would it be?
Um, for Mama Sharon, I would say keep doing what you're doing because it makes a whole lot of difference. And sometimes we second guess when we give advice and we overthink things, but in the end, we realize that it was for the person's best and it all works out in the end. And especially if it is that you're not giving the advice of self, but the advice is coming from the Holy Spirit, it comes from God, and then you impart it, then you leave it as it is because it will work out in the end. So, my advice to Mama Sharon, keep praying and just take it easy. Be calm. Yes.
All right, Orville.
Grace.
Grace,
To show more grace
be
and
more graceful.
listen more. The role that Mama Sharon played being that, I guess you can say, mediator between Julie and I with our constant bickering back and forth. Um, listen more. Take the advice that she's given. She is up there in age with Orville, so listen to just whatever she has to say, the wisdom, learn something. Because maybe if I
Mm-hmm.
listened to her initially, like in the past with certain stuff, then I could have probably handled different situations with her, including when she was crying, with Patrice, with Paula, and maybe I could have handled those situations with Grace if I had listened and take heed to the advice that she was given.
Mm.
More
All
open
right.
to
All
opinions.
right. I want to ask the viewers a question. Thank you, Orville. I want to ask the viewers, those who are on and those who will view later on. Sharon often stepped in as a mama on the bus. Do you think she was right to guide the others so much, or should she have let them learn on their own? I want to hear the listeners' take. Do you think she should have just let them learn on their own, or do you think what she did, stepping up to be mama to them, was the best thing, right? And in addition to that, if you were, for Orville, now to the listeners, if you were in Julie's shoes, would you take Orville's jokes lightly, or would you have told him to stop? So I want you guys to think about that and give me your response. Would you have taken his jokes lightly, or would you have asked him to stop? So now I'm going to put Orville down a minute, and I'm going to bring up Chris and Julie. All right. So Orville, I soon come back to you. So we're going to bring up Chris and Julie, Sir Chris and Madame Julie. All right. So, guys, while the listeners news on that to tell me, remember to mute your mics until it's your time. Chris, you came in at season 2 as the sweet soldier guy. All right, let me answer this. Julie says guidance is essential to personal growth. So that means she's agreeing that stepping up as mama for them was a good decision. Thank you, Julie. We look forward to somebody else's response. So, Chris, you came on in season 2 as the soldier guy, the one that Julie stumbled and fell for. Oh my God. So for the benefit of the listeners, we had two Julies. So we had an earlier Julie, she's not available today. And so we have our other Julie, and she's here. So let me know, go now. So, Chris, what lessons from your mother's faith carried you when you felt distant from her or from God?
Are you hearing me?
You want me to repeat?
Yes, I'd like you
All
to
right.
repeat.
So, what lessons from your mother's faith carried you when you felt distant from her or God? Now, before you answer, Eka Gordon says it is the mother's duty to guide their children. So she agreed with Sharon for stepping up and being a mother figure for them. All right, thank you, Sister Etta. I'm listening to hear what the others say, and I remember the Orville question. If you think Orville was, if you were Julie, would you tell Orville to stop, or would you just take his criticism and his jeering as a joke? So back to you, Chris. How your mother faith carried you when you felt far from her or God?
I mean, remembering her, I think it's one of the most, well, let me not say one of the most, but it's a stabling experience. I think Mama Sharon is one of the most, and I don't mean to throw the word at anybody else, one of the most stable in the experience. So I think um just looking at her
Mm-hmm.
character, how she takes the time to listen to God and the wisdom that she exercises. I mean, it's something that really kept me grounded and kept me stable. And even that time of disconnect, I think I'd have always remembered it.
So you fell in love with Julie, love at first sight. Bam! I saw her and I loved her, and she is mine. But what kept you steady when Julie was? She wasn't so sure, and we all know how Julie was when she was so all over the place. What kept you when she was felt like she wasn't enough for you? Before you answer, Julian Brown says, if I was in Julie's shoe, I would tell him to stop. Enough already. I agree. I would tell him to stop too. Right? But Chris, what kept you steady? I mean, you were determined that you were going to love this girl, even though she felt like, I don't want you. You're just not for me and stuff. What kept you steady?
To be honest with you, I think Christopher is very is a conviction kind of guy. You see, if him feel
Hmm.
something and him say yes, this
Yeah.
is it. He's staying the course, and him not let it go. And I think, as you said, it was love at first sight. He feels that this is his wife. And I think, maybe even Mama Sharon was guarded in the first part a bit.
Hmm.
But I think you saw Christopher's love just growing for Julie, and it was steadfast, and he was just consistent. I think that's just it. He was determined. He had a conviction in him that this was the woman that he wanted to marry. And I think early on too, he knew that this is something that he had to approach God for, which was a particular point in time which was quite serious for him.
Hmm.
But his conviction was always
Yeah,
strong.
he's a guy that moves on his conviction. Mm. It's a God to say, if I was Julie, have to tell, I would have to tell off Orville because most of the time he is very provoking. Orville, I know you're hearing upset. I know you heard that. You're very provoking. You need to stop it. You need to stop it. But let me jump to Julie. Now, Julie, you picked up from the other Julie, and so you must have had to go on through and listen a bit and kind of do a little check to get some of these. But Christopher's love scared you at times because it felt too real. What was the hardest part of opening your heart to him? Remember that scene? I love that scene. That's one of my favorite scenes when they were in the park. Oh my God! The park scene! The park scene! When you were in the park and, you were saying, and this and that, and then you opened up. What? What was it that made you really open your heart? What was the hardest part?
The freeze, the freeze, Sister B.
Oh, I'm not hearing
You,
Julie.
you guys are hearing me because Sister B
Yes,
freeze.
I'm hearing you.
You're hearing me now? Good. Thank you, God. Well, mm, definitely wasn't a walk in the park. I'd skip a beat, but it definitely wasn't a walk in the park. I think the most difficult part about opening up was, I think for Julie was the trust. Being what Julie got through, like she feel like she was just a broken glass, or let's say a vase with many cracks. And this guy, this sweet man of God, is just how should I put it now? Um whatever. Uh
You just
we
came
don't
and
even
sweep
we
our
don't
our
even know
feet.
we don't even know how to put it in our words. But I think the most difficult part for Julie, as in for opening up, was really the trust area, because she just felt like, is this true? Is this real? Is this guy everything that he's saying? You know? Is it all
Yeah.
true? Is it going to last?
Yeah, yeah. And I can see her feeling that way based on her own experience. In the chat, Orville has gone over into the chat and he says Orville is a saint. And I think Orville has been through a lot and y'all should give him a break. You see, that's Orville. That's Orville. Now, let me ask you a question because that's who bring him back to ask him a few questions. Let me ask you a question. And that's why I love StreamYard. StreamYard, I could have everybody on, but hey, they said don't complain, right? Because it wouldn't let me in. I tell you, StreamYard, I'm coming at you. Why didn't you make my thing work? All right, so here's another question for Julie. Julie, how did it feel balancing your personal struggles with the pressure of being in love with Christopher? So you are having your personal struggles. How did it feel balancing that? So you're thinking about your personal struggles with your mother, your workplace, with the things going on there, and then here comes this guy with this love thing. How do you balance? How did you balance that?
Well, it was more, most of the times Julie want crash out. So a lot, a lot of time there was not a good balance. Most of the time Julie just want Chris go on. Mama Sharon, me can't bother with you today.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and then
truly.
Julie, after you deal with the mother where Julie have, so it's like, and then everybody know about Julie pass already, and that I think that is the heaviest part for her. So the mother, she already not feel like she good enough. She already not have enough confidence in herself. So I wouldn't say there was much of a balance. Most of the time, as me said, Julie just want to crash out. But I mean, with the
Yeah,
help of God, and Mama Sharon in our corner, all the while just always ready for us to carry the word.
yeah,
I
yeah. I
think,
think Mama
I
Sharon
think that,
really played an
yeah,
important part.
I think that's how Julie managed to balance. She won't crash out, but she have good people in her corner. Shout out Mama Sharon.
Truly, truly,
And as much
truly.
as me Orville sometimes,
Ah, it is that my internet and stable, Julie is yours. It's not mine. But Chris, let me jump back to you until Julie comes back in. Your persistence in loving Julie inspired a lot of people. Believe me. What gave you the courage to keep showing up for her? Now, we know you said you're a man with convictions, but I'm sure there must have been time when you felt like, oh my God, this girl is just too much. She's just a lot. While you think about that answer, wait, I want to throw a question out to my viewers and listeners. Um, Viewers and listeners, I want to ask for season 2. Let me find a good question, for my listeners. Julie often came on the bus tired, distracted, or discouraged. Is there any listener who can relate to those moments when you feel like you just, as Julie said earlier, you just want to crash out? You just want to just too tired for this? If you've ever felt that way, we'd love to hear in the chat. Go ahead now, Chris.
So I'm going to answer this one with answering something close to what Julie said a few
Hmm.
moments ago. So a part of that whole experience for her too, I think too, would have been just the fact that sometimes Chris knew the right things to say. And I think very common too was his phrase, um, hey pretty face. It's just very common. It's a common thread. And I think it was reassuring a lot of times. And Chris is also relying on his. I think Chris has a good background, a good
Good
model
foundation.
example
Yeah.
in Mama Sharon and his father. So I think that foundation is set, and he talks about it in season 2 about the love that his parents have, and he sees them as an example and wants to emulate that.
Hmm.
And you see it in his persistence. I think, as I said to you a while ago, he's very reassuring. So even when there are instances which seem like Julie now really give him the time of
Yeah.
day, or not really, giving him the kind of responses he wants, I think he has just this internal conviction that allows him to say the right things. Or even if he doesn't say the right things to reassure her completely, I think he always wants to be there with her.
Mm.
And I think it's very, you know,
It's a good
it
quality.
keeps the relationship. Yeah,
Mama Sharon,
it keeps
let me
it.
ask you a question, Mama Sharon. When Julie called herself broken, you rebuked that. Why was it so important to stop her from feeling that way? And I want to invite Orville up, right, and put Julie down a minute to hear that. Don't you go anywhere, and Julie, you just stay where I want you. Orville, I'm going to bring you up. Where is he? I really want to, okay, the black is not there. As soon as he comes up, we bring him back up your screen. I can't see you, Mr. Black. All right, so yes, Mr. Black, you are up. So, Mama Sharon, when Julie called herself broken, you rebuked that. Why was it important to stop her from speaking that way?
There is life and death in the power of your tongue. So if it is
Mm-hmm.
that you consistently or you call yourself broken, whatever you call yourself is that is what will manifest and that is what you will become. So Mama Sharon had to let her know to cut it off right there. So no, you
Yeah.
are not broken because you are not going to carry this with you for the rest of your life. And it's the same thing with life itself, with anybody else. You have to know when to speak and what to speak. You can't just speak negative about yourself because that is going to follow you. Your life will be broken if it is that you're consistently saying that I'm broken. So
Mm.
she had
Yeah.
to.
For her own benefit. Orville, each time you put your hand up, it blocks our screen and I see the middle of your hand here. So when you go on YouTube, you see the middle of your hand and your handprint. Just thought I'd let you know that. Now, Orville, Marsha pushed you towards prayer and accountability as a couple. How did that challenge you as a man?
Taking that um, from her, basically, it wasn't asked. It was, as you said, push me towards prayer and all that. It, as a man, especially, the male is supposed to be the head of the family and stuff. So having her, not to be sexist, but having her push me towards something and commandeer this routine into us as a couple, it was a little challenging to deal with it, to know that okay, I'm gonna have to adapt to what she wants. She wants more prior and stuff. It wasn't like a big problem because we all know Orville grew up in the faith and stuff. But um, to have her incorporate that routine into us as a couple, it was pretty fulfilling, but at the same time a
Mhm.
little challenging to know that she was the one that had to incorporate it. Why couldn't I step up and say, all right, babe, we need to do this, we need to do that?
So it really helped you.
Very much
But let me
so.
ask you, do you feel Marsha saw parts of you that no one else did?
Yes. Mama Sharon, Chris, Julie, they all saw the teasing, the jokes, the humor, which, as I said, in response to an earlier question, it was used as a mask for that vulnerability that Orville has, for that sensitivity, sorry,
Yeah.
that he displays, that he tries to hide. Sorry. So being so
They
comfortable
tried to
with
hide
Marsha,
being this tender, nice guy, but Marsha saw
she
that.
brought that out in him. She made him feel safe to just be still and let go with her.
Mm, I like that. I like that thought. I like that thought, Marsha really brought something out in you. Um, who is this now? Chris. Let me ask you a question, Mr. Chris, because you see you now, going like you smooth. Looking back at season two, when you came in, looking back at season two, what did love teach you about vulnerability?
So I love this question because I think even for myself personally, it's not that it wasn't a lesson I already knew, but it was magnified by the experience that Chris and Julie had. Vulnerability is an opportunity to grow. When you're vulnerable, it allows you to just accept the
Mm-hmm.
weaknesses and to to use them as stepping stones. And I think, especially for Julie, because throughout season two, I think personally that both Chris and Julie grew
I think
together.
so.
I think I think the vulnerability that they would have eventually shared, especially from Julie's side, would have given them the opportunity to just grow as individuals and their relationship to grow, because I think the the kind of ideas that Julie had about Chris in the beginning kind of, I wouldn't say changed, but it became it was adjusted
Mm-hmm.
throughout. And I think the same for Chris. I think much of his past, much of the things that he had to do were also, magnified in the process.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the lesson about vulnerability is that it's important because it gives you the opportunity to grow.
Uh,
I don't think that when we hide things, it gives us that opportunity. So
Mama Sharon, I need to ask you
yeah.
a question because you're the main, well, almost the main character. You're the one that keeps the thing together. You constantly stress accountability. Why do you believe it was so vital in the relationships of faith? Why do you think it was so important for them to be accountable? I want to bring Julie back out. Julie, go ahead, Mama Sharon.
Well, accountability in life as a whole is it is needed 100% because without it, persons are we will tend to go astray. We will tend to do things that is not morally acceptable, not godlike, and so we have to be accountable for what it is that we do, what it is that we say, and so that is why it is stressed. Our Mama Sharon stressed it so much that take responsibility for your action. So I'm going to call you out. So Orville, I'm going to call you out each time I tell you to stop calling people names. So, and that is how we grow. Because if it is that we don't have anyone who is saying that, no, 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 don't do it like that. This is a better way how to do it. Let us pray about it. Let us do it this way. That is how we grow. So,
All right.
100% needed accountability.
I'm going to ask you a question before I bring up Julie and put you down a little. Um, if you could, no, there was a scene. There was a scene, and I'm waiting for the response from the viewers, because I know on Saturday evenings are, busy evenings. But at, at one point, when you realized that Julie was really taken up with Chris, like something's happening here, and you felt like you were losing Julie, you were losing her, and you're going to lose her to your son. And then at one point, you felt like you were being selfish, and you alluded to the fact that, yes, I think I'm being selfish. What emotions do you think Mama Sharon really felt right there, even though she said that? What do you think she really felt? And do you think that she actually got over that hint of jealousy to say that Chris has come and taken her friend?
Um, hmm. How she actually feel? Well, I think really and truly, she did feel jealous. She did feel sad because it is that her son was taking away her daughter. So basically, Julie was a daughter to her, and she felt as though Julie being in a relationship with Chris would change the dynamics of their relationship. That's the relationship between her and Julie. Because in some essence, she's going to want to pull back a little without giving advice because really and truly it's her son that Julie is going to be in a relationship with. So I don't think she fully got over the jealousy, but then she understood that this is what Chris wanted, this is what Julie wanted. And because she loved both of them, then she's going to allow the relationship, she's going to step back, and she's going to realize that she's not losing Julie, she's gaining a daughter. And I love the
Mhm.
fact when she said that she's going to have Chris's head if he hurts Julie. So
Yeah.
and yes, and she's telling Julie that even though Chris is my son, If he does anything that you're not pleased with, you don't like, come to me. Come to me just the same. I am still your mother. I'm still Mama
Yeah,
Sharon. And
yeah.
I will deal with it.
Love that, love that. Chris, I have two questions for you before I take you down and then bring you back for your final word. I have two questions for you. The character Chris, and I want Joel to answer this. The character Chris, do you personally think you have taken from him, if you've taken anything? And if you've not taken anything, what would you point persons to observe about this character Chris?
Wow. Um, Chris. So what I would have taken from him? Hmm. I haven't given much thought to it, but I've seen it within the context that Chris is still young, and I guess one of the things I've taken from him, he though he's young, I think he still has I want to say the presence of mind, the need to consult God, um, maybe to some extent his parents in the kind of decisions he makes, especially when it came on to Julie.
Mhm.
I think earlier in the season, even when, he was just enamored by
Mhm.
Julie, I think he still understood that he needed to um, get some answers from the
Yeah.
father because he wanted to seek that kind of direction. And that moment for me, that episode for me, when it came out, was really a lesson to me, and I think for so many young people, because of the fact that many of us are of independent minds. We don't really see the need to consult um, not only our parents, but to consult the father. Because I think be- the fact that he did that in the beginning, Naga said the relationship Naga goes through its
Yeah.
turbulences, but I think this is one of the reasons why it stood for so
Mm-hmm.
long.
I like that. I like that. I like that. I'm going to bring up Julie. I hope she's ready to come back up. I'm going to bring up Julie because I want to ask Julie a few more questions. And I'm also going to bring up Orville. So I hope they're both ready to come back up. Let me bring them. I say I'm new to this particular app, you know. All right, so I'm going to bring Julie up and I'm going to bring Lord. Yeah. All right, Chris, Dawn. Orville, we want to talk to you. You need to come so I can talk. So, Julie, let me ask you a question. In season two, you had a lot of things going on, but you got promoted while wrestling with doubts about your worth. These things must have been overwhelming. What helped you to hold it together? What do you think about that? I want to invite those who are viewing and those who are listening. Do you have any questions for any of the cast members? Drop it in the chat so I could so they could be answered. Yes, Julie. How did you feel when you were wrestling? What helped you to hold it together? Because you're dealing with Chris, you're dealing with your mother, you're dealing that you get promoted. Oh my gosh,
I think the only thing that
you
helped
had doubts.
Julie, you're hearing me? Yes?
Yes, man, loud and clear.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think in that time for Julie with the whole promotion, love situation with Chris, mother, everybody, I think the only thing that helped her was her little time that she prayer, basically. Prayer. Because I think she tell herself that, well, God, you can't be this far and you could have never came right yourself to come leave me. And even though Julie, everybody know she don't have, how should I put it now? She don't have the 100% self-confidence and she doubtful. And I think the only
Hmm.
thing she relied on was the word or the promise of God. And,
Hmm.
just talking to him and just saying, well, God, me can't use my own strength to go through this. So I think she just leaned on God's strength and not her own.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let me bring Orville back in. So Julie, but if you think when as you think about season two that has passed, season two, personally, when you think about Julie's character in season two, is there anything that you would personally take from Julie's character as an individual, as Janae? What would you take from season two's character, Julie?
As in motivation or to learn from it.
Anything that you learn, whatever you learn,
Anything.
or even motivation, whether learn or motivation, any of the two.
All right.
While you think
Honestly,
about that,
because
oh,
I
you're ready. All right, go ahead.
yeah.
Go ahead.
Because for Julie character, I can see myself in her sometimes because I am not as confident as a person, to be honest. And so I think um what I would do is to try to give myself some more grace and to remember that God grace and mercy triumphs over his judgment, and that God is gracious, and not to be so hard, and not to think that because the past is going to determine the future, and to just give yourself some more grace. Be more graceful to yourself, and not because of whatever you feel broken means that you cannot be mended.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
she certainly has gotten to a better place. The
Yep.
entire season two, when season two was closing out, she was at a much better place than she was when season two started.
True
Yeah,
too. Hmm.
yeah. Orville, let me ask you now, because we're wrapping up. We're wrapping up now. Orville, you have to mute your mic, Julie.
Oh.
Orville, um, season two tested your patience and your maturity. What did you learn about yourself? Did that season surprise you? No, I want you to answer that as Orville, and I also want to ask you the same question I asked Julie. Personally, what do you think you can take from that character? So you answer the first question. It tested your patience and maturity. What did you think Orville learned from his experience in season two?
Okay. The patience and maturity, definitely. Um, that changed with the help of Mama Sharon for sure. Um, Mama Sharon was definitely the glue keeping us all together. So with her help, her encouragement, her advice, just every
And
time.
Marsha,
And Marshall, can't leave out my fiance for sure. Every time they spoke, but speaking of Mama Sharon first, because she was there from the beginning of the show,
mhm,
just the advice that she gave every time she opened her mouth to just breathe a word of wisdom, that helped me to develop, to reach to that level of maturity that I am at now. That Orville, I'm at now. Um, and the patience, because yeah, Mama Sharon really helped a lot. And then next came Marsha, which, as I said, she opened up like a whole new side to Orville that she got to see that Mama Sharon and Julie necessarily didn't get to see because he was masking it before with all the humor and jokes that he was bringing off before. So I feel like that has really changed a lot. And what would I take from Orville? Um, his ability to be open to the advice given by Mama Sharon and by Marsha, to not just look at it as, oh, why the woman here I come talk to me and I tell me this and I come tell me that, me a big man, me
yeah,
already. So he was able to listen to them with an open mind and adapt to what they were saying to make the necessary changes. To not just shrug it off and it's like, all right, yeah, me hear you, and move on, and then just go back into the same toxic cycle that he was in before. So personally, I wish I had that strength that Orville had, that um, drive to be able to adapt to the different encouragement and advice that he was given throughout the show.
I like that. I like that. So I'm going to ask now each person on screen now, and then I will bring Christoph back, starting with Mama Sharon. Tell me what you took from the character Mama Sharon, and also what would you love to see in season three?
All right. Well, for Mama Sharon, her wisdom. Oh my lord. I can remember calling you one day and said, I want to be like Sharon. I want to be like Mama Sharon. And that is true because she's so grounded. Not that she don't have her own trials, not that she doesn't um, have her own issues, and sometimes she gets scared, as we could see in season one when she was afraid that her niece was going to die, and when she crashed out, as Julie would say, and she started to cry, and she was fearful. And believe it or not, Arville gave her some sound advice, even through his harshness. He still did. So that's I want to take that from Mama Sharon. Her wisdom, her trusting in God, her seeking God for everything. Hey, anything happening, the first thing Mama gonna do, pray now. Trust
Yes.
me. If it is one of her children are in trouble, then you know that she's going to pray. I remember when Chris and his ex and Mama Sharon come off of the bus and go straight to church because she's going to pray whole night until she get rid of that demon. So yeah, that is what I will take away. That is what I've taken away from Mama Sharon and still learning. Season three, um, why we just want to say her wisdom. We just want to say if her wisdom can get any better than this. But yeah, that is what I'm just looking forward to her sticking with God, um, going through her own issues and overcoming them, just as though she helped the other ones to come up and to trust God to see how she maneuvers some more of her issues. Yeah, that's it
Thank you,
for me.
Mama Sharon. What would you like to say to the viewers and listeners in your closing?
Um, Please to subscribe to the Bus Stop Crew, watch and share. But in a word of wisdom from Mama Sharon, seek the Lord all the time. In for every situation, go to Him in prayer. It doesn't matter how small the issue might be, seek God about it. Yeah, you can't go wrong.
Thank you, Mama Sharon. Let me bring Chris up. Thank you, Mama Sharon. Can you wave to your peoples? Thank you. Chris, I'm going to bring you back up. Orville, your final words to the viewers and listeners. What would you say to them? And what do you look for in season three, sir?
For I for
Bear
Orville,
in mind that if you ended season two on quite a high note, your fiance dumped you. Okay.
I wouldn't say she dumped me. She just kind of angered me a little rough, but I still have her. You know. Still have her. I still have her. Faith and sound mind, I still have her, and we're going to work
Uh,
things through.
that's right.
So for season three, I'm looking forward to Orville stepping up and taking accountability for kind of shrugging off her for her basically pushing Marsha's feelings aside, um and for them to get back on track as a couple, for them to get married, and you, who knows, to see where their relationship goes, and for Orville to finally get a break, because why has Orville been going through so much? Orville should be the real one to crash out. Like Orville has been in every season, season one, season two, in every episode that Orville is in, is coming like just something dip on him shoulder, just weigh him down. Orville has
So
been
you
exhausted.
hope he gets a break in season 3.
Hopefully, let
What would you
Orville
say
kind
to
of reach to that level. Get at least a small percentage of the wisdom that Mama Sharon has.
what would you say to the listeners? What happened there? All right, something's going on. Okay, so Chris, you're on until Orville thing regulates. I don't know what's happening. Chris, what are you looking for in season 3, and what would you say to the viewers in the end?
More excitement. I think the relationships that you see in the bus stop crew are going to come under some tests. I think, especially for Chris, I think that he and Julie are going to they may have some rough patches along the way. I see it coming. And Orville may not want any more trials and no more problems in the coming season. Trust me. As I said, I see it straight across the board. I think I'm looking for just things coming at the relationships and how they are resilient against it. For the viewers, like Mama Sharon said, like, share, subscribe. And I think there's so many things they can take from the bus stop crew, whether it's the wisdom, the need to listen to the voice of God, the need to seek his advice, and the need to be, open to criticism and advice so that you can grow.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Chris. Thank
So
you.
lots more.
Say bye to the people. Julie, what do you hope to see in season 3? What do you think about that? Orville, you should have given me a closure. What do you say to the people? What's your word to the people? Your final words to the people.
Um, be more like Orville. Smooth talker. Um, just have that charm that he has. Um, yeah, and be open to advice from the different fellow Christian folks around you, the different men and women of God that you are surrounded by, because they each have their own journey with Christ, so they all have something valuable to share about their journey, and that could impact you and your personal journey with Him a lot. So, not just looking at the spiritual side of things with your journey with Christ, your overall journey and relationship with different persons in your life, because I feel like Mama Sharon helped Orville to can be able to manage the relationship with Marsha a little better because of
Mm,
how the advice that she gave. So just be more open to the advice of persons around you. And
all right.
as my lovely Mama Sharon, Miss Huckleberry, um, as she said, and as Chris said, like, share, and subscribe. We are now coming on Spotify. Is that right? Yeah, so we're now going to be on Spotify. So we are here already here on YouTube. So as soon as you see the link, as soon as a new episode is posted, turn on your post notifications so that you can be advised. And I love to see you guys another time.
Thank you, Orville. Julie, give us your
Okay,
final
okay.
words. What would you
Fine.
say? What would you say to the listeners?
To my lovely, amazing listeners, especially for all the Julies out there, take what you can from this. And as you would realize throughout the life that everybody emphasize on Mama Sharon. So for all the Julie out there, if you're going through a situation like Julie, get a Mama Sharon in your life. You know, a Mama Sharon always up and ready for prayer. She ready for tackle it. And as soon as you feel low, she's there with the right words to uplift you,
Mhm.
because as you can see, Mama Sharon relies solely on the Holy Spirit. And everybody need a Mama Sharon, but for all the Julie
Everybody
there,
need a Mama Sharon.
everybody need a Mama Sharon, but for all of the Julie there, the 23, 24, 25, get you a Mama
Yeah.
Sharon. It's you.
Bless
I'm
you.
Mama
Bless
Sharon.
you.
Yes. So all the
Thank
best
you.
guys, keep
Wave to
listening.
the people.
Thank you.
And so it is. And as I make my exit, thank you so much for joining us on this live. The listeners, thank you for consistently listening. Remember to share, share, share. And let me go out the right way. Thank you.